Hi everyone, welcome back to Brain Dump. My name is Kai, and this is a show where I talk about pretty much whatever the fuck I want to talk about, whatever's on my brain. And this week, the topic for this episode is a bit dark, but I think it's something that needs to be normalized to talk about because it's something that happens to all of us. We all are going to die someday. So today I'm going to talk about death. I read this book. It was really good. It's called Briefly Perfectly Human by Alua Arthur. She's a death doula, and there's just so much that death teaches us about life, and I think it's so cool. This is probably like my second or third book about death that I'm just reading because I find it fascinating. There's a few quotes that I want to share from this book that kind of just flipped a switch in my brain, like, wow, okay, yeah, no, yeah, for sure, you know? So, and like, I don't know, this book has just got me thinking about death, and it's gonna happen. Like, whoa, it's gonna happen. Which is scary, but I think it's something that we all need to accept. Not in a sad way, not in like a morbid way, but just like that's a fact of life. We're going to die, and I want to live my life in a way where if I die tomorrow, I will have no regrets. And I don't think I'm living my life that way right now. I really don't. And I want to live my life that way. So, lately I've just been trying to do things that make me appreciate being alive. I feel like that's a lot of things that I do throughout my days. I try to, you know, appreciate the stillness that is life, and death has just been on my mind a lot lately, and it's scary. It's a scary thought at first, but after you like truly think about it, it's not that scary because it's a universal experience, something that we will all go through. And I think the scary part about it is the unknown. What happens after? I don't know. I don't know. And that's fucking terrifying. What happens after we die? That's a question that a lot of people ask every day to themselves, to other people, to religion, to God, to whatever higher power that they believe in. And I think it's cool that we have our own beliefs, but it's truly up in the air what happens after we die. We have no idea. We have no clue. And that's really scary. It is. It's terrifying. It's something that I used to get really anxious about probably every day, but it's I think it's a lot easier to not focus on that now because I'm learning more about the positives of death. Not that death is a positive thing, but just the things that go along with it and the lessons that it'll teach you, and just I think death makes us appreciate life, and the fact that we aren't here for that long makes us appreciate life. Like, we get like 70 years if we're lucky. If we're lucky, and that's crazy because I am 21 years old. Oh my god. I could only have like 50 years left. And that's crazy. That seems like a really long time. Like, even right now, me thinking about that number, that's a long time. Like, I haven't lived 50 years, but I've lived 21 years and this shit has gone by so fast. So who's to say that's not going to go by really fucking fast? And that's another scary thing. Just life goes by so fast before you even know it happened. It happened. Like, it's, whoa, childhood's over. Teenagehood's over. You're 21. Go fucking get a job and do real world shit. Like, wow, how did I get here? How did I get here? I was just 16 years old, sitting in my bedroom with no responsibilities. And now, what? What? Huh? Sometimes I just gotta collect myself because, wow, I'm not a 16-year-old anymore. I'm not someone that has no responsibilities. I have payments to make. I have bills to think about. I have responsibilities that I have. There's just so many things that come along with being an adult that I don't I don't know where I was going with that. Being an adult is hard, gist of the story. And this book also kind of made me think about the person that I want to be on my deathbed, because I think about the person that I am today, and I don't want to be this person on my deathbed. I like myself as a person, and I think that I've worked really hard on myself, and I'm proud of who I am, and I like who I am, but I feel like if I died tomorrow, I would have so many regrets, and That's not a great feeling because I could die tomorrow. Being truthful, I could die tomorrow. And there's so many things that I haven't done. There's so many things that I haven't said, and I just think that there's always things that I can work on, but I think there's a lot of things that I want to do for myself before I die, and therefore I'm not ready to be on my deathbed. I don't think any of us are ever ready to die, unless you're, I don't know, ill, and you've kind of just accepted it. I'm just not ready to die. Plain and simple. And there's so many what if questions that come along with death, like, what if I went to church more? What if I stopped going to church? What if I did drugs? What if I stopped doing drugs? What if I made this really big fucking choice that could change my life? And what if I didn't do that? Like, there's so many ways that our life can go, which is so fucking cool, by the way. But there's so many what ifs that you can ask yourself on your deathbed, and I think that a big part of accepting that you can die and you're going to die someday, and that day could be today or tomorrow, you let go of those what ifs. And it's hard to let go of those what ifs because I feel like life is just a big game of what if. What if this happens? What if this happens? Like, you gotta make the choice to find out what happens. There's no what if in action. I want to share this is like 3 paragraphs, but this is the end of the book, and it really stood out to me, and it made me cry because life is beautiful, and there's so many things we can do with our lives, and I think that's the coolest fucking thing ever. So let me just read this. All we know is that everything ends. Our collective death denial inspires us to behave like we can live forever, but we don't have forever to create the life that we want. For life's sake, don't die with a freezer full of bananas. Make the banana bread. Scream into the pillow. Take a nap. Eat the cake. Forgive yourself. Buy the shoes. Apologize to people that you've hurt. Watch the birds make a nest. Tell your truth. Tell the ones that you love them. Fuck a lot. And make love. Quit the job. Or take the job. Whatever it is that you know you must do to reconcile your life with your death. Do it. Do it today. And don't stop until you get enough. And it's like, just do it. Nike be like, just do it. Like, tomorrow is not promised. It's not. We could die. We could all die tomorrow. I could die tomorrow. You could die tomorrow. And that's fucking terrifying. Being frank, that's scary. This is another quote from the book. The experiences we have while dying are universal, yet we feel most alone while journeying through it. I hope these stories show you that we are witnessed even at the end of our lives. You are seen, you are heard, your life matters, and your death will too. And I really like that because I feel like death is something that we avoid talking about, and it's also something that's so shushed, you know? Like, obviously we avoid talking about it, but when we do talk about it, it's like, oh, quiet, like, don't talk about that. Why? Hey, why? We're all gonna die. It's like she said, it's a universal experience. And this book, because she's a death doula, she did share a lot of, like, different people's experiences with death and just how that changes from people's different walks of life. And I thought it was so cool. And I really got a lot out of this book, and I would recommend it to you if you're willing to give it a read. It's incredible. Truly, like, I really got a lot out of it. Life is precious. And tomorrow's not promised. I know I said that 1,000 times already, but life is precious. Like I said earlier, I used to have, like, really bad anxiety surrounding death and the things that come along with it. And obviously death is, I feel like it's something that us as people are innately scared of because it's the end. It's the unknown. Like I said, we don't know what happens afterwards, and that's the scariest fucking part. But I think that the fact that it's a universal experience can make it so much easier for us to talk about it because we're all going to go through it. And it's hard to talk about. It is. I don't like talking about death, but I feel like things like this, a book like this, or just people sharing their experiences with death in general can help open up the conversation. I think that's a really important thing to do with this topic specifically. All right, this is the last quote I'm going to share from the book. I want to die in gratitude. I've moved fast my entire life, yet I want to saunter into my death like a tipsy woman might walk to a lover across a dark room. I go and surrender. I know we can't choose how we die. That's not something we can do. But I want to die peacefully. I feel like obvious, duh. Like, no shit. Everyone wants to die peacefully. But I relate to that statement a lot because I do rush through a lot of things in my life and I have a hard time staying present. That's something that I work on a lot. But I don't know, I feel like death could be something that I could rush through and just be like, let's get this over with, but I think it can be such a beautiful experience if we let it be. I don't think I was ever scared of death itself, but more of the process of dying and also the hypothetical life that wasn't fulfilled. Like the years that I could have had before this hypothetical death of mine. Because that's scary. And you don't want to think about all the years that you could be missing because of your death. Because we don't want to miss out on our lives. But sometimes there's just nothing we can do about it. Plain and simple. And that's sad, but it's life. So, yeah. That's death for you. Let's talk about Spotify Wrapped. Let's talk about it. Okay. These are my top artists. Taylor Swift, Lizzie McAlpine, Noah Kahan, Leve, and Ash. Okay? These are the top songs. From the Start, Better Than This, All My Ghosts, Come Down Soon, and Homesick. So my number one was Taylor Swift, but none of my top 5 songs were by Taylor Swift. It's all by Leve, Lizzie McAlpine, and Noah Kahan. But I listened to 80,170 minutes on Spotify this year. Crazy. My top podcast was the Mel Robbins podcast, of course. Number 2 is the BCC Club with Sarah Schauer and Kendall Landreth. Number 3 is I'm Literally Screaming with Spence Watt. And then number 4 is Strange Cast. It's a Life is Strange podcast. It's great. I love it. I feel like Spotify Wrapped this year wasn't that accurate. There was a lot of like, your vibe this summer was this. And I was like, no, it wasn't. You know? What else is happening? Oh, I finished first semester of sophomore year. How exciting. I ended my biology class with an 89.67. If she doesn't round it up, I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be upset. 89.67, come on. That's a 90. That's a 90, right? Anyway, hope she rounds it up. I think I ended the lab with like a 95. So, yeah. Okay, books of the week, obviously. Briefly Perfectly Human by Alua Arthur. Death Doula. Great book. And it's not even that long. Read it. Now, I'm reading The Glass Girl by Kathleen Glasgow. I read Girl in Pieces last year. That was probably one of my like first books of the week for the pod. And this is by the same author. And it's really good. It's really good so far. I like it. So, all right. Are you ready for songs of the week? There's a good bit of them. I got real excited. Okay. Long Story Short by Taylor Swift. Whoa. Hey, my brain is ahead of my mouth. White Ferrari by Frank Ocean. Free Now by Gracie Abrams. Close to You by Gracie Abrams. Tough Love by Gracie Abrams. Sobs Quietly by Mom Jeans. Yes, I'm Changing by Tame Impala. Too Late by The Happy Fits. I Bet You Think About Me by Taylor Swift and Chris Stapleton. Bad Chem by Sabrina Carpenter. Taste by Sabrina Carpenter. And Grace Enger just released a new album. She's a smaller artist. I saw her open for Leve, and she was incredible. So from her new album, I'll probably add It's No Fun and The Alchemist. Those are really good ones that I enjoyed from that album. So, yeah. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Remember that death isn't supposed to be scary. It's something that we're all going to go through. So, accept it. Get used to it. It's going to happen. Okay. Anyway. Remember that you're loved, you're valued, and you're appreciated in this world. And I love you. Okay. Bye.